All right, a very good afternoon, all of you all over the globe. We really thank God to have Mr. Christopher. It's called the Prof. Christopher from Germany. And we are saying again, we are very blessed, knowing that we have the president, the main pillar of the program that are carrying on in Uganda, 2022. The summer school, the entire world, people, they've been very much interested to know what summer school is and what Gesis is and things of that kind. And all along, we've been praying to God that at one time we could meet you, we discuss, you let the world to understand what Gesis is. Because Gesis, some of us, as the first alumni of this international summer school, really thank God for that. And we would love to see summer school be there today, tomorrow, and the next time. Here I'm with Mr. Christopher, away from Germany, where we've all gathered and engaged in different activities to be delighted to be part of this summer school. But all the time we say, who are we that were chosen to be part of this? It is a blessing. So welcome on this show, Mr. Chris.
Good afternoon, Rogers.
Good afternoon, Chris. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm really good. I enjoyed the classes today, and I hope you're good too.
Yep, we have to enjoy it as well.
Wonderful. So your first question was, what is Gesis?
Yes, because we've been hearing what Gesis is. Gesis has sponsored people from Uganda to Germany. Gesis has sponsored people from East Africa. Gesis is conducting researches of all levels. So what is all about Gesis? The viewers would love to understand. Maybe next time they could be part of us.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That would be great. So Gesis, the entire name is Gesis Leibniz Institute for the Social Sciences. And I think that already tells a little bit what we are. We're a research institution based in Germany with the task to support social science research. And our definition of that task is that we provide data, that we help people acquire skills to work with data, to produce research to improve our society.
Okay.
And although we're based in Germany, a lot of our activities have or play out on an international scale.
Right.
We're involved in a lot of international survey programs, collecting data from all over the world. We are involved in training programs where a lot of people from all over the world come to Gesis to join us in a summer school we have in back home in Germany. But this was the first time we had the idea to take this outside.
Okay.
To go somewhere else to have the summer school. And we're so glad that this worked out so well. Found really good partners here at Mutesa University in Makerere, and enjoyed. This is the second time.
This is the second summer school.
And it after the first, I couldn't wait for the second. So I'm really glad to be back here.
That's very interesting. Yes, so that's what Gesis is, and a lot of people, I don't know, is there any qualifications to be part of Gesis?
Well, we have a lot of staff members, and so we have a lot of different qualifications. So there are people organizing training events, they have a lot of administrative competence, and there are researchers, they have research qualification, usually a doctorate in social science, psychology, statistics, so different areas. We do have people who are trained in communication, in web design. So it's a large organization with over 300 employees, and you can imagine they come from all lines of qualification and university programs.
Okay. You as the president of Gesis, what inspired you to have this kind of program, which is quite very interesting, and it's helping people who are doing their PhDs and masters, even an undergraduate, and even those in local government officials. They're really, the kind of teachings that you're having It's really very interesting. So what inspired you to start up this kind of program?
Yeah. Rogers, I first think I have to make clear that I had very little to do with the fact that we now had funding and that we're now here in Uganda. It was my colleagues who had the idea, who wrote the grant proposal, who did all the organization. I think they um, should be also named here. It was Simone Hasler, Marlene Mauk, and Loretta Langdörfer mostly who did all the organization, got the grant. Of course, I am very happy that we have staff members that are so engaged and have spotted this opportunity. And as soon as I knew they were having this opportunity, I was very happy to be able to support them. And I think it is really important for an organization like Gesis for many reasons. One is our world is a connected world today. And the problems we face are problems of environment, problem of safe food, problem of inequalities. And these problems cannot be solved only in Uganda or in Germany or in another country, but I think they have to be solved on a worldwide scale. And that's why I believe that our obligation as a research organization also is to support research and research methodologies in other parts of the world and help people solve their problems and together with us and together with other scholars around the world. So reaching out, having a program here in Uganda is our very small contribution to making this world a better place.
Okay, that's very much interesting, and I really encourage all those organizations that are quite responsible, those who can, maybe to join Gesis and to make things move. And now my another question is, among all countries, because Gesis is in Germany, Cologne, last time we saw guys from Canada, guys from USA, guys from West Africa, guys from Tanzania, guys from Kenya, being part of this summer school. Of all countries now this time, away from Germany, why have you chosen Uganda to be the center of summer school? Come any other time.
That's a good question, and I'm not entirely sure that I know the answer. But one reason is certainly that even before we came here, we had this relationship with one of your colleagues, with Norman.
And Norman Mukasa.
Norman Mukasa. He was a guest at Gesis. He has some roots, I think, in Germany. And for reasons that I cannot fully understand, there was this relationship with him. And when we saw this funding opportunity for a summer school outside of Germany, in Africa, it was a very natural idea to talk with Norman. And Norman, I think, had a lot of ideas how to organize this here in Uganda. And because it worked out so perfectly for the first time, we decided to go here a second time. Just look around here, this campus is perfect. It seems, I'm not sure, but what I hear from the people attending, it seems that, and you mentioned it, people from Tanzania, Kenya, now Ethiopia are here. Zimbabwe. That it is possible for people from East Africa to come to Uganda. Because this, again, was important to us, that it is not a closed shop. It's not only for Ugandans. It is in Uganda, and it's perfect that it is here. But I think it's really good that we have the opportunity to have other colleagues from other countries in East Africa also here, and the German students. Because I think the network building aspect is also important, to have networks between Germans, between people from East Africa, also probably among East Africans. I have seen here that people begin talking with each other, forming friendships. That's wonderful, isn't it?
You mean one of the objectives is to maintain the connection or the network between one another from different countries. And I think among the objectives, that one is already achieved because all the people already are connecting in different styles. And really thank Gesis for have done that. As we're still maybe discussing our program show, all our people are watching us just live, depending on the country you are in, these educational programs, and we want to see how can we connect different people from one to another. People for us in German, connected from Uganda, people connected from Kenya, Nigeria, London, France, all over the world. Once how can we connect and build a world with one info data, such we can connect in different ways. My next question, Mr. President, do you think you can accept any collaboration from any organization to be part of you? Like in Uganda, you have WOPAS. And we're also planning to see, since we're the alumni of Gesis, we want to see how can we have this in Uganda amidst your absentia. Can you accept our collaboration or any other organization if they would wish to collaborate with you to make things more?
Of course, and I think that would be necessary if we had wanted to repeat the summer school, wanted to build on what we have achieved, maybe extend the program or reorient it towards needs that are even more pressing. That's also something we have to learn from people attending the summer school or wanting to attend the summer school. Also, this summer school, the past two summer schools, have not been organized only by Gesis, but also by the partners here in Uganda. And so I guess every further development will benefit from the involvement of more organizations.
So, I mean, collaborations are highly welcome.
Absolutely.
So my friends in Uganda, in Kenya, Tanzania, Egypt, I saw in my class we had some Nigerians. So people all over the world, please, the door is open in case you want to collaborate with Gesis. And if you can have an organization that is quite registered and very important for the growth and development of your nation, wherever you come from, please, you're welcome to be part of Gesis. And you never know any other time you can be part of the students. Those are studying cross-culture, survey methodology, data management, and things of that kind. So please, students doing their master's, PhD, you are welcome. My next question, Mr. President. Is there hopes for people, those who did not get chance to be part of this summer school, to join any other summer school that will take place? What do I mean? Is there any chance to see us in other summer school take place?
So we are organizing a lot of training events, as I said before, in Germany. So that is, I think, also important to know that there are scholarships that would support people also from Africa joining us. For example, for our summer school survey methodology that takes place in Cologne usually, or a fall seminar on computational social science. So addressing more questions of machine learning nature, of social network analyses, using R and Python and these new technologies. So this training program at Gesis is really internationally open. Most of the courses are offered in in English, in Germany, but in English. So it is really open for an international audience, and at least a third of the participants come from abroad. Now, you're probably more interested in if we could carry on a summer school in Africa, in East Africa.
Yeah.
And I would be very happy to do that, but the mode of funding that we had for the last two summer schools will not be available anymore. So we will have to find new ways to fund the summer school. And my understanding is that if there's enough interest by research organizations, by universities here in East Africa, we could form a network and together find funding from governments, from NGOs, from research organizations, research councils, And I'm pretty sure we could make it work if there are enough organizations that join us and join forces and articulate an interest in a summer school like this.
Okay, that's very much interesting. Maybe let's continue more, stress more points into this kind of collaboration, because in Uganda we have over 53 universities, and there are those universities that are really struggling to be there. And all along I came up to understand that what makes a university is the research, because to see people in the field discover new ideas that can create and contribute the development of the institution wherever you are. I'll give an example like Ebugema University. It's a Christian institution, but maybe we may start with that, because if you may ask them the archive of their research and the impact of the research towards the community, maybe it's kind of not all that being seen. What we do in Africa is to send the students in the field, go research on this. After passing the examinations, the books are kept, and that's the end. What do I mean? The research that we are carrying on here in this international summer school, do you think the findings will be implemented and the results will be disseminated in Uganda?
Well, we have, my understanding is participants of all walks of life here.
Yeah.
So there are some participants at universities that lecture or do research there. There are participants in government institutions who do statistics in government institutions. There are teachers here. There are people from other walks of life here. And my feeling is that all these organizations live from the knowledge, from the competence of the members of that organization. And what we hope to achieve in the summer school is to provide people with skill sets that they can use in their everyday lives where they work in be it a national institution, a government agency, a statistical office, a research institution, or university, help them to make their work more, have their work more impact, make it more sustainable, look deeper into data, or be more critical about data. Just understand the reality seen through the lens of data and data analysis clearer. And if we can achieve just a little of that, I think we're very happy. And I think that could be an incentive also for research institutions and universities to think about funding such an endeavor in the future. I don't think it is that costly if many contribute, little contributions. But I think they would all profit if they send a lecturer, a student, a postdoc to such a school, and then have that people bring this knowledge to the school, to the university, and spread the word, if you want, help others to improve their skills. And I think this really would be a very high impact situation.
Okay, that's very nice, Mr. Chris. Thank you very much for that kind of elaboration. And before we are there, do you have some scholarships that you can offer? Maybe Roger may wish to be a part of, maybe being sponsored by Gesis for further studies, in case if I do wish. Can the Gesis do that, even if it's not me but someone else?
Yeah.
Is there that chance?
Yeah. No, we don't offer any scholarships directly. As I said, we have these programs like summer schools, but we have other organizations working together with us who actually do give scholarships.
Oh.
So there's the European Survey Research Association, the ESRA, who regularly sponsor a number of scholarships for the summer school. There is the German Online Research Association, the GOR, and I think they also sponsor some scholarship. There is the German Exchange Student Agency, DAAD, that regularly sponsors scholarships for Gesis training events. So there are scholarships, they're not from Gesis, they're from other institutions, but dedicated for participants in our trainings.
Okay.
So there should be possibilities also for African students to use these and benefit from these scholarships.
Oh, that's very nice. I'll clap for those who are going to apply, and because any
Yes.
time comes.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Nze Haji Kabogoza omusomi w'edduwa ntereeza ensonga z'amaka ebyenfuna n'endwadde ezitategeerekeka. Haji Kabogoza omusomi w'edduwa nsiŋŋaanibwa ekitigoma ku lw'ejjinja. Bw'obanga otuuse ekitigoma mu ttawuni ku siteegi osobola okuba ku nnamba z'essimu ezo z'olaba zitambula. Gwe wenna ali ewala oyinza okuyita ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa WhatsApp ku layini eyo eya MTN obudde bwonna mbeerako. Bw'obanga otuuse ekitigoma ku siteegi osobola okulaba aba boda boda ne bakuleeta awaka oba n'onkubira ku nnamba z'essimu ezo.
As you've said, but chances are there those who wish to have that kind of scholarship. You can apply right from bachelor's, master's, up to doctorate.
Our programs target more people who are at least at the doctorate level, so work on the doctoral thesis, or are postdocs.
Okay.
The reason is that in the German context, bachelors and masters are trained at universities, and we don't want to compete with universities.
Oh yeah,
so
I get
we
your point.
target then the researchers that grow out of universities in the graduate schools and beyond.
Oh, because you see, when I was in class, I was also asking myself, why is it so they're targeting postdoctorate guys at PhDs? Why not these guys from undergraduate? And now you've explained it properly that you don't want to be one of the competitors among the universities.
No.
You want to be, that the uniqueness of Gesis, that's what they do. So you polish more guys who have finished their postgrad or doctorate level.
Exactly.
That's very nice.
Exactly.
Okay. Mr. Bray, thank you very much for the way you're answering these questions. And so, my friends, if you don't see me again in Uganda, they should not complain. Dad may have taken me already.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very much fine. And now, do you think Gesis, I don't know how old is Gesis on Earth, but the period Gesis was formed, have you achieved your objectives? If we say, if you go to East Africa, so far the study methodology, so far activities so far being done, have you achieved your objectives, or you're still crawling like a baby? Next time we shall see you walking.
So first of all, the organization is rather old.
Okay.
Even older than I am,
What?
although you can't believe that.
Yes.
So it was formed in 1960.
My God,
And it was-
1960. And for
So
us,
1919.
1960 in
Yeah,
other words.
other millennia. And it was actually the first archive for social science data in the world. Was founded at the University of Cologne. Out of this little organization, really a very small group of people, grew over the years, over the decades, this large organization Gesis. And now you ask, have we achieved our objectives when we came here? No, we haven't. We are one step further getting towards our objectives. We are, as I told you, working closely together with international scholars all over the world, with social science researchers. And we have seen over the last, I would say, 30 years, a very strongly growing research community in Asia. So now we have partners in India, we have partners in China, we have partners in Taiwan, in Japan, in South Korea, now we're also in Myanmar. So that is wonderful. Yeah? We are able to collect more and more data for relevant parts of the world. Now, if you look at the map that is covered by social surveys that we conduct, you see there is one blind spot, and that is Africa. So in Africa, we only have very, very few members. And my objective, at least, is, and that of my organization, to end this, to make also the African situation visible in social science data.
Oh, yeah.
And to have African countries join us in the International Social Survey Program, for instance, or other social surveys. And in order to do that, we first need to develop skills here on the ground in Africa, is my belief. We have to also get to know people. I wasn't aware that you have a wonderful scholar here in Uganda, responsible for the Ugandan African Barometer,
Yeah.
Robert Sentamu. He is has so much knowledge, so he would be a perfect collaborator in his group. And I'm pretty sure there are many, many others that I just haven't got to know. And just being here opens doors and begins an exchange, because on the other hand, probably a lot of people in East Africa don't know of us and our activities. So I think we just have to get to know each other better, and then have to make sure that you also have the resources to take part in survey programs like that. And these are financial resources. Doing surveys is expensive, I know that. But also, I think, human resources, so skills to analyze data, to make really, to create value out of these data. And I'm very, very certain that, and hopeful that we'll achieve this over the course of the next 20 years.
Okay, that's very wonderful. Very, very wonderful. So, guys, those who are still watching us, do not forget that Gesis, I thought, started 2 years ago. But if you tell me right from 1960, before even got independence in Uganda.
Yes, exactly. 2 years before independence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very old. But it's unfortunate that for us to just come to understand, to know about it, just only 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm encouraging everyone, those who can, please join Gesis. A lot of information on archive is there, and I hope we shall also be there. Especially those guys are studying there in School of Social Science Research. You can conduct your research under this particular platform. Another question, Mr. President. Thousands of people, those who applied and were not being given chance, but they could not qualify because of different uncertainty issues that they went through. And at the same time, I understand even COVID itself, it affected this particular program. The question is, those who did not get chance to participate in this international summer school that we've had, is there any chance for them to participate again? Or what is the sustainability of this wonderful program?
Yeah. As I said before, Rogers, funding for the summer school, as we had it now 2 years apart, is not available anymore for a next round. We have a wonderful network. We have wonderful courses. Now what we need is new funding sources. And that's why we have to think about creating stronger networks also here in East Africa, and having East African organizations also support us in this endeavor to have a regular summer school. Because I fully agree with you, it would be wonderful if we have a sustainable program here in East Africa. Maybe one thing the audience might want to know also, and is important for me, is that the courses are not given just by people who flew in from Germany, but are always taught in conjunction with an African and a German or another an American or Canadian team. So it is actually a joint summer school. And I think it is really important. I learned a lot by learning from the African experience in doing surveys, in creating questionnaires. For the question, for example, what can't be asked here, and what you could ask, but we can't ask.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. There are so many cultural differences, and I wouldn't know, so it's really important to have a joint summer school to do it together. And that, I think, is also an incentive, or could be an incentive maybe, for research organizations in East Africa to see that it is not just something they would support and then their students would consume, but they would actively be engaged with their researchers, with their students. And they would also, of course, have a say in how the program is formed, what content, who to invite, where to have it, and all these things. I think it's important to decide these things together in a consortium of people or organizations willing to fund such a school.
Okay, that's very much fun. And I really will be also very happy when to see its continuity all over.
So
the globe.
would we.
And I'd love to see that. And I would love also, maybe the time it is in Uganda, I want to be the president, maybe. Such that we can have this particular collaboration. Let me tell you, it's very bad that we don't appreciate the information that is around. We don't appreciate. And we don't know its relevance towards the community. So also I'd love to see that everything is taking place in its normality way. So I still say my regards to all people in Cologne, because and now we've seen starting the collaboration now via because this is online television, which is called the Flashlight, where we ready to keep flashing the torch where there is a need, and where the information can go through the public. And I'll be so very glad even to have Zoom interviews if you're in German, and now we are here. We keep the public in the know that Gesis soon it will be in Uganda, things of that kind. The last question for today, the second last. Could you be knowing some number of participants that in this particular summer school? Could you be knowing a number of participants that this time you've recruited?
It should be around 40. So we have 2 courses, as you know,
Okay, yeah.
and each of the course has a capacity of 20 students. Now I learned that because of some health issues that have developed here, some participants couldn't come from abroad, but it is approximately 20, just slightly less in each of the 2 courses, so slightly less than 40 students.
Okay, that's great. Direct answer. Last one. Or what could be the impact of this program? What do I mean? Of this summer school towards guys in Europe, Ugandans, Kenyans, Zimbabwe, Canada, Egypt, Ethiopia, to all those who have participated on your side, what do you think may be the impact of this program?
I believe that there will be impact on several levels.
Okay.
And the first level I would like to address is the individual level. So I know of certain participants with whom I had more intense interactions, who approached me about research problems they're facing, that they are really gaining knowledge and expertise for their next research steps from the school and from interactions with other participants and lecturers in the school. And for some of these participants, also from the last time, there are still exchanges going on. So it's something that goes way beyond the 2 weeks that we are here in Uganda for some of the participants. Now that's not necessarily true for everyone. It's perfectly fine to just go home, have learned something, and then use your knowledge in your everyday work. On the second level, the institutional level, I think there is not so easy to discern, but I think in the long run, strong impact here in Africa and in Germany, and where the lecturers come from. And the institutional impact works like this. We all go back to our institutions where we are based. We talk with our colleagues. We talk with our superiors. We talk with the people we supervise. We bring our skills and knowledge that we gained in the summer school into our work. So I will bring a lot of new impressions and knowledge about culture in East Africa to my work back at Gesis, and to collaborations and international survey programs. And that's enormously valuable for me, to be able to reflect more about the diversity of culture and at least having experienced just a little bit of the African culture. And this makes our institutions, I think, better, because they are becoming opener for other cultures, for other experience, and for collaborations with each other. And as I said at the beginning, a lot of our problems we face today, poverty and climate change, to just name two, can only be solved if we work together in a worldwide scheme. And that's why building small networks, building, having courses together where we learn how to talk with each other are so important to me.
You know, there's a statement you've just made, and it has really touched my thinking that since you realize that in Africa there is lack of publications, lack of research and things of that kind, and now you ought to say you are targeting also Africa. Maybe at one time we could be part of people in the map to publish and collect data that will help our nation grow. And it's quite very, very, very important. Mr. Prof. Chris, let's talk about 1 minute about our maybe social life. Slightly. How do you feel, Uganda, vis-a-vis Germany?
That's a very good question. So I personally like warm weather, I must confess. So for me, German winter is always horrible. So it's 6 months of feeling bad. It's cold, it's rainy, you have to dress up. So I really detest having to live in Germany. Really. And here, my feeling is it's always between 25 and 30. Yeah. That is my comfort zone. So I really like it here. Yesterday evening, it became chilly. And I said to Norman, you know what, I believe it's now 23 degrees only. And that is already cold for me. And he looked at his phone and said, oh, yeah, you're right, it's 23 degrees. So I really like it. Guys, come here. It is wonderful. You see it's green. It is wonderful green.
Absolutely.
The weather is wonderful. This now is October. I think last time we were here in September.
Yeah.
But I heard that also in January, February,
the weather is almost the same.
Yeah. So great. So I love it here.
You love it.
Weather-wise. Now, I also like very much the eating.
The food is quite friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I could be here more.
If time allows.
So if time would allow, I would be here more. I really enjoy being in Uganda.
Okay. Let me hope that maybe one time when you're to be in Uganda, I will also take care. When you come, we shall take care of you to make things move, because we also love visitors from Europe, and the way you host us in Germany, it will be the same way we're going to be hosting you around our country, Uganda. Though sometimes, Uganda has some unpredictable issue. You may find they will say there is a disease A, B, C, disease A, B, C, D, and things like that. I think that's the only problem that you are facing in Uganda amidst the leadership. Lastly, if you compare German and Uganda, the leadership of German and the leadership of Uganda, what's the difference?
I'm afraid I can't answer that question because I know too little about leadership and politics here in Uganda, actually. So I would have to pass.
Yeah, you've passed it. I stay with it. And I've seen, because I asked Manila yesterday, I don't know whether you know, what's the difference, what's the relationship between Ugandan flag and German flag?
We were talking about that, but I have no idea. But it is curious, isn't it, that it is so similar. You also have red, blue, yellow. It's supposed to be gold in our case, but
that's what I wanted to know.
More or less the same.
What could be the relationship? Maybe one time I need to visit the Chancellor's office, and then the Chancellor's office in German.
Yeah.
I ask her, why do you think so? This flag is similarly the same.
Yes.
What's the history behind that?
I wish I knew. Yeah, but it's interesting. We'll find out.
Yeah, absolutely, because we need to know. Lastly, I don't know the years, the time you've had, maybe, I don't know how young you are, but the time you've stayed on earth. I understand that there are people who talk about racism in Germany. They say that most of Germans don't like blacks. I used to hear that. I don't know. You in your experience, how true is it?
Firstly, I don't think it's true that most Germans don't like blacks.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. But I fully agree that there is a sizable proportion of people
Yeah.
in Germany who don't like blacks. Um, and why is this the case? Well, first, in a lot of in a lot of parts of the country, it is still very, very rare
Okay.
um, to come across someone who's black, right?
It's rare.
So, very rare. So it is not that often
Oh,
that
yeah.
you have the chance to talk with someone, that you meet someone, that your colleague is black. So it's a very small proportion of the population who is black.
I think that could be the root cause.
And this, I think so, because we didn't have experience. We didn't, so, you know, the black man could be seen as something dangerous. Or I don't know what.
Yeah.
Because I never experienced talking to someone, learning that this is a human being like myself with the same fears, the same hopes, laughing about the same things and crying about the same things, right? So only when I make this experience, I realize that skin color has no
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter whatsoever, right? And has no impact on who we are and what we want.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the big reasons really is the lack of experience
Absolutely.
with black people.
Into that I agree with you. And that's why in the class we had with Dr. Sonila, and she asked a question last year, and I really feel proud of myself. I was the only person who answered it. She asked the same question this year in class. No one answered it.
What was the question?
The question was not to have the different packages into survey methodology, and I happened to answer those questions. When she asked the same question this year, no one answered. And now she gave me a point of reference. It was only one person who answered it, and that was Ahiba Rogers. And I felt proud of myself that I answered the same question. Why did I say this? I'm trying to compliment on the color does not matter. Because in the class we had Africans, Americans, Canadian, West Africa, Ugandans, German. But the question was cutting across everyone. But when an individual answered, it so long as I was a human being, color doesn't matter. So I also do agree with you. We should not use color as something very important. What is important is the outcome, what comes out of you, and how does it contribute towards the community. Whether you're small or you're black, what you're doing, is it worth for the development of the community? If it's so, please keep going on.
I fully agree.
As you're concluding, do you have any word of recommendation that you could let to our viewers in Germany, in Uganda, Kenya, Zimbabwe, everywhere? What would be the piece of advice that we have to keep thinking of the president of Gesis, Christopher?
Well, that now is a very tough question, as you know, Rogers. I just hope that we all keep open-minded,
Okay.
that we are open for surprises, that we go out, go to places, that we not only go to Germany or Uganda, but then maybe also to Kenya and Tanzania or other places.
Yeah.
And really work together on making this world a better place. And that I'm convinced 100% that this is only possible if we collaborate, if we talk with each other, if we exchange views, even if it's sometimes hard and we disagree,
Yeah.
then we still have to find ways to solve our problems. That would be what I hope for.
Absolutely. And I do agree with you. I also do encourage everyone, wherever you are, if you can have a collaboration with us, that would be the only way. And as also my piece of advice is, let us do everything with the passionate. The moment you have passionate and the patience, you make things move. Especially to us academia, you know, you may be going for research, you maybe go and find out data somewhere, and now things go vice versa, becomes turned too tough. What you have to do, be patient and passionate what you're doing. Those are in PhD research, those in master's research. One day you will achieve whatever you're doing. Passionate and patience is very, very important. So, Mr. President, I'm very grateful that you to be on this particular show. Thank you very much. Next time.
Very
Come
glad you
again.
had me. Thank you so much.
Yes, and next time I will have to. I don't know. The next interview may be in US.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see. Good luck, Roger.
Good. Thank you very much.